553 kilometres, 100% charge. Yeah, right.
Hello, welcome to Kia e-Niro Diaries Encore. So a couple of weeks ago, the silly season ended, the rentrée happened, which is when all the kids go back to school, and we thought, yeah, now's the time to have a few days over on the beach. Now we decided to stay at a hotel, which is one of a chain of hotels called B&B Hotels. Stayed at one in La Rochelle a few months back, and we didn't realise that they had electric vehicle chargers, but they did, so charged overnight for free. And so this one we went to was in Royan. It's a part of the coast we've been to before, but we really loved that part of the coast. And we knew that they had electric car charging there for free, so I deliberately didn't fully charge at home. It's about 140 kilometres out to that part of the coast, and I think we got there on 27% and just charged up to 100% overnight. Now, everyone knows that a Kia e-Niro can't possibly go 600 kilometres on a single charge. So that's 360 miles. Or can it? Well, when the car was first launched in France, some French motoring journalists, they actually used it in Paris, where it's all stop-start and you're really not able to get up much speed. And this was in the winter, I think, and they were getting 500 kilometres. Now, I know it's not realistic. I would never say to anyone this car would do 360 miles or even 300 miles. But just for your interest, what we did the first full day we were there, and we were going to the beach, we did a little journey up the coast because it's very pretty. It's lots of little villages. You can't drive very fast anyway, and you don't particularly want to. It's quite narrow roads, and then it winds through some forests, which thankfully didn't suffer any damage from the heat waves that we had, like the forest further south near Bordeaux did. So anyway, we went all the way up to what they call the Côte Sauvage. We've been there before, but it's pretty dangerous for swimming actually, but it's a great place to go in the winter. It really is a wild coast, as the name suggests. And that day we did 66 kilometres, as you can see there on the screen, and say we'd started with an estimated range of about 550 something, and it said we'd use 10% of the battery to do 66 kilometres. Now, the way the Guessometer works, we know doesn't really work like that. But then again, look at the efficiency, 10.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. Which is about 6 miles, I think 6.1 miles or something. And you say, well, I've got 64 kilowatt. I've got 64 kilowatt hours to play with. 6 miles per kilowatt hour. I should be able to do 350, 360 miles. But you think, no, that's not going to happen. But I think it's just interesting to see. Anyway, the following day we charged overnight again. We only stayed 2 nights, and then on the day we came back, we were at 100%. We went to the beach again, which wasn't far away from the hotel, and so there was a few kilometres there, and then we drove all the way home. So I think we did about 149 kilometres, I think it was, on that day. And so we started at 100%. And the journey home is a mixture of dual carriageway, very slow through villages, and then just these lovely straight French roads that I'm sure if you've driven over here you know very well, where you've got trees either side. You're doing about 90 kilometres an hour. It's not that, I tend to just cruise along, and then there's quite a bit of sort of back roads before we get to home. And you see there that for 149 kilometres we used 25% of the battery, which again suggests, if you do the maths, that it had a range of 596 kilometres. Well, we started the day with with the Guessometer showing a range of I think 554. So clearly, the way the Guessometer works and the actual percentage that you're at the battery are not, they're not exactly the same. I've noticed this before on long journeys that you can say do your first 200 kilometers, 150 kilometers, and your percentage of use isn't as great as you would think, because the range is now dropping off quite quickly. But I just thought that was interesting, to show that driven in the summer. I mean, it was perfect temperature. It was like 25 degrees centigrade or something. We had a wonderful time for 3 days. Very relaxing time. Anyway, there we go. Kia e-Niro. Silly range. Really, is that realistic? I don't know. 600 kilometers on an e-Niro. Certainly is if you're poodling around in town, or just slowly in the summer. I would say it's possible, depending on how you drive, of course. But yeah, so the new e-Niro is out now. Niro EV, I think it's called. I haven't actually had a good close-up look at my dealers yet. They want me to have a test drive of it, but not really in a position to be buying a new car just now, or maybe not ever. I don't know. But I've seen one on the road, so they're starting to come onto the road here. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. And our next big trip is going to be back to the UK at the end of October, so probably be making a few videos on how that goes. Going to be doing quite a lot of driving in the UK, so be interested to see what the charging situation is like there. Anyway, take care.